Hello and welcome to the Rant.
The Rant, Ep4. We're going on. The season continues, Seb.
We've
And
got in store for today.
yeah, we're on everybody's favorite part of.
First of all, to the millions and million fans, what do you think of John's haircut? Oh yeah. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
6 months of neglect have finally been shaven off.
Yeah, that Prince Charming wool that you had on your head had to go. Had to go.
Yeah, so, but actually it was forced, hey, because I'm going to a wedding, so I think if I
What's wrong
wasn't
with
going
that?
to a wedding, I don't know if I actually would have got it cut. So, anyway.
Moving on. Moving on.
Anyway, it's everybody's favorite part of every 4 years, which is the Olympics. Olympics are on.
Summer Olympics, yep.
And it is a wonderful thing to behold, actually.
It is.
There are so many different weird sports that like people just have never heard of, have never watched.
Yeah.
Like do you know dressage? You know that it's that sport where you get the horse to like walk as like a little
I
step
saw that. I saw the one person and it looked. I was actually in absolute awe. How do you get a horse to do that?
And the thing is,
and it was good.
Yeah,
like it was precise. Like it knew what it wanted to do. Does the rider? I mean, obviously the rider has skill, 100%. Like, does the rider control so she obviously doesn't control the horse as in that sequence.
Yeah.
But does she lead the horse into each new kind of dance that it does?
I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine and she was training her horse to do dressage. And I was like, how on earth, like, how do you even start? And she's like, no, you just like walk the horse and, you like force it to do little steps. And it just sounds like years and years of training.
Yeah, no.
And it's young.
Literally hearing you say that must be to get the horse from not knowing what to do at all to Olympics, walking in diagonal, but having its 1 foot front left and the front right must both be in the air, and then they swap. That is a long time.
Because let's face it, there's nothing natural about dressage.
No.
Dressage has never ever appeared in nature ever.
No, the horse also to make it not look awkward.
Yeah, like it's. But see, because it's all coming down later to my big question, which I'll pose to you later. You haven't heard it yet, which is good.
Okay,
but I'll give it to you later. Anyway, but for now, would that skill doing the horse stuff, would that allow with is the big skill? Okay, obviously the horse is the skilled part, but is the skilled person the rider or the trainer, or if they're both the same person, then obviously. But
no, I think there's definitely a trainer and a rider.
But then all the rider does is sit there.
No, but that's what, no. I think the rider definitely controls. Let's be careful here now.
Yeah, okay. One thing that horse people love their horses. So like we don't want to you haven't
no.
I don't know.
Listen, John and I are very in the dark with this. We just find it extremely intriguing. So if we do say anything that is extremely wrong, let us know in a very nice way. That's all we ask for. But no, I think that the rider definitely controls the horse. I think the rider tells the horse what to do next, but then whatever she tells the horse to do, the horse just does that by itself. I think the skill in it is, I think actually most of the skill is behind the scenes. That's judged. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, wow, like you were so good behind the scenes to get your horse to do this. Now in front of everyone.
Yeah.
But I think the rider definitely tells the horse what next step to do.
Okay.
So whether it's that diagonal sort of trot across.
Yeah.
Because it was going diagonal.
It goes like that.
And it was doing this thing with its feet, where its feet were doing this.
Yeah.
So in a straight line, and then it went diagonal. So her the skill there is to get the horse to know to go do the diagonal. But once the horse is doing the diagonal, I think she doesn't. She kind of just sits there. But maybe she also does timing, because the commentator said like, watch the rider's feet kept on going only from the one camera angle. Her one foot was going like forward and back in like a motion.
Okay.
So I think she also does keep it in time. But
yeah,
I think it's a crazy thing. I think it's a crazy thing that a horse can get trained to do that.
Yeah. But also what I
all
was
it wants to do is run.
Like having like horse racing, that's pretty simple. The gate opens and you just whack its ass and you just hold on. Like that is simple. You just beeline for the finish line.
I mean, I'm sure there's a bit more to it, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously. But anyway,
just stay on the beast. That's what you got to. That would be my first thing. Just don't get buckled off.
But imagine
that must be terror. Imagine doing your first horse race, and it's in the blocks, and the gates are there, and the moment as the gates open, that realization where, because the gates open and your eyes will see the gates opening, and the horse hasn't moved yet. So there's got to be a 10th of a second where you think, like this is, and then they'll just bounce off, and you gotta like cling on to this
absolutely
horse,
tanking yourself. Well, what I was thinking now is, do you know how?
I can just think of a visual. It's just
like the rider's face, like as the gates go like that, it's just like
like, why am I doing this sport? It's like those rodeo people. As the gate opens, and
that's next level.
That is next level, though. You got a bull trying to fling you off,
and then it's trying to
one hand, and then once you fall, this thing like turns around and tries to nail you. Like, no, like who does that? Like people without mothers do that sport. Like
that's also a crazy sport. Like there's some. Like the sports we're talking about are different, okay? Then sports like that are just crazy.
Yeah. No, there are some wild sports. There are a lot of wild sports. I mean, F1's even becoming not tame, but like, but those MotoGP oaks and their knees scraping on the ground on a bike. Like, you actually don't go, if you have a bike that you have access to, go and sit on the bike and think to yourself, how in the world am I meant to get my knee on the ground while turning? It's no.
Anyway,
but back to the Olympics.
Anyway, back to the Olympics. What I was quickly going to say about the horse stuff is, imagine how expensive it is to fly like the equestrian team to Japan. Like, say you the American team, you the USA equestrian team, or whatever. You got to fly all the riders.
It's a long ass flight,
and all the horses. You gotta get a horse halfway across the world. That must be so expensive.
Yeah. No, I think that's where sponsors come in, and whether the country supports that sport. Because I know the SA Hockey, they got to whip out the bucks from their own pocket, but which isn't good. Yeah, it's not good. But I think any team that goes to Olympics should be sponsored in some way.
Yeah. So we talk about dressage. Then there's like other sports like badminton. Like people know about it, but it is quite a low sport in terms of
even table tennis is like whenever you see table tennis on TV apart from the Olympics, you don't see. This is from a South African view. Because I mean, maybe I'm sure somewhere in like China and Japan, like they are, but for us, I mean, that's what I like about the Olympics is it celebrates the sports that don't get shown in general, and also like opens your eyes that like there's this professional archer who no one knows about. His skills, just hit bullseye after bullseye. And it also like represents, for me, it takes us back in time. The Olympics is like
it's quite a historical
back. It goes so far back, like ancient sports, basically, when there's like no equipment, like running. You don't need equipment, or
you just run.
For me, I go back in time when I watch the Olympics. Fencing is a modern day sword fight. and it's so fun to watch. I watched the finals of the women's teams, went right down to the last two people after like 9 rounds of the whole it's a whole process. But anyway,
But like, don't you think like fencing, like people who fence, okay, they're considered, I mean, stereotypically considered to be the more classy people. So like the kind of oak who does fencing is the kind of oak who drives a Jag. Like, oh. You need to pull it together, son.
I'll be back. The billions of fans, I apologize. I don't know what happened. And I'm talking about after the spillage. I'm not talking about
Yeah, I was like, no one's looking for an apology for the spillage. It's like, what happened there?
Anyway.
Oh yeah, so we're talking about fencing. So like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just super cool. And then Seb, I was watching, you'll never guess, okay? I was watching the women's 10-meter air rifle shooting. Okay.
Is that like clay pigeons? Clay pigeons.
No, it's like a BB gun on steroids, like an air rifle.
Air rifle. Yeah.
And you shoot 10 meters, which is not far at all. Picture 10 meters, okay? It's probably from the corner of your bedroom to like the other far corner, and then maybe add 2 steps.
A little bit longer, but nothing spectacular, you know. Like,
and I'm just watching this, and it was so weird. Like, I got hooked onto it. I'm like, I sat there watching for like 2 hours, and my mom and my dad came in, and they were like, "You are wasting your life." And I was like, "No, guys, just like give it a chance." And then by the end of it, like the whole family's sitting there, and everyone's like watching. It's going down to the final, and it was so weird because like they aim for this bullseye, which is minute, like literally the size of a bullet. And then, so if you hit the bullseye, I think it's 11. And then for every millimeter you're away, it's like minus 0.1. So if you just off of 10.9 and then 10.8 and all that jazz. It's quite a fun sport. So,
yeah.
And so you shoot every 2 shots. So like it starts with 8 people, okay? And then every 2 shots, whoever's at the bottom gets kicked. And then every 2 shots, and so it goes until you got the last 2 people. So it comes down to the last 2 people. And like this one girl from Russia, she's just been smacking it, like 10.7s, like really nailing it. And she's
what's like a common score to get on one shot? Like a common good score, like a 10, like a 10.8, a 10.7.
Well, probably between like 10 and 10.5.
Okay.
So yeah, that's at their level. So
and a bullseye, is that common or is that pretty rare?
I didn't see one, but there was a 10.9.
Okay.
Like everyone was like, the like 6 people who were there were like, oh my god! It was quite fun. But so it gets down to the last one. So everyone's been shooting, like this one girl, she's been shooting like 10.7s on average. She's been in the zone. On the last one, she's ahead by like 0.7, which is quite a bit. She goes and she shoots a 6. Like the camera like is zoomed in, like not even the whole target is in the frame. It's just like
because you should get around there.
And she's like,
especially if you're at the Olympics,
out of frame. Hey?
I said, yeah, you should be getting around there because you're at the Olympics. Like, yeah.
So I was watching that, and it was just fascinating. She just choked at the end, which was quite funny. Anyway, then
shame, man.
Then I was watching,
shaking.
Yeah,
that's why.
No, but it's so weird. They like are dead still. They'd stand there and they like get themselves, I don't know, like mentally and everything, and they're like dead still. Like you think they like are dead.
Paused.
Yeah, you think it's like your TV's buffering or something. They're just dead still. And the thing is, because it's an airsoft gun or an air rifle, there's no kickback. So it's not like it's not like
yeah.
It's just like you just hear a noise like, and then they're like,
yeah,
cool, and then it was just so fascinating. Anyway, so So then I was watching archery after that, okay? And archery is a bit longer. I think like 20 meters, okay? And
Archery's cool.
This is what got me down to this question that I want to put to you, okay?
Okay.
These people have trained for 5 years just doing archery, get themselves into the Olympics, just doing 10 meters air rifle shooting to get themselves into the Olympics. And they stand however many meters away from a target and they shoot at the target, okay? So me and my dad are chatting. I'm like, because we like, what? First of all, what do they do for like? Because you cannot financially support yourself being an archer, surely not.
No, I think those sports definitely have another job.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Like you tell your boss, sorry, boss, I need to take.
The more famous the sport, the more famous the sport, the less the percentage of you having another job.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, I agree.
They definitely they've got another job. I think even like tennis players, professional tennis players, sometimes have a backup job. Like the ones that aren't so, like the lower ranking oaks,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of the lowest ranked professional tennis players earns probably the same as one of the best archers. I would say
that the lower tennis player earns not a fair bit, but a bit more than the archer.
But more than the best archer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
so they definitely have another job.
Definitely. So you got to tell your boss, look, I need to take leave, and he's just like, wow, what's going on? It's like, I'm going to that.
I'm like, going, you gotta go. Yeah.
No, I'm actually participating.
No, I'm the archer.
Yeah,
I'm that guy.
Anyway, so then I said to my dad, and I was like, because I was like, you don't even need to train that much, and he's like, yeah, you do. Like these people have trained for 5 years, and
no, you do have to. Of course, you have to train.
And so he says to me, he's like, no, you wouldn't even be able to hit the board. So I said, Dad, give me 3 straight days and I will be able, like if we're talking about archery now, okay, like it obviously goes towards 10 in the middle. I was like, give me 3 straight days and I will shoot for 3 straight days. And by the end of day 3, I bet you that I can average 4 or 5, okay? So now that got me thinking. So I'd say that's over 3 days. I wouldn't say that's very ambitious. I might be naive and wrong, and I'll take that if that's the case. So then that got me thinking, like, surely it's not that difficult. Surely I can do better. Give me like a year or so to train from scratch, and then I'll be in the Olympics next time. Like, do you think?
A full year of pure dedication to archery. Yeah, as in no second job. You are putting 1 year to try and qualify for the Olympic Games.
Okay, then change it to like 2 years with a second job.
Yeah, 2 years of just pure archery.
So, but that's
no golf, no other hobbies, job and archery. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying. Some of these sports, some of them, like diving, you need skill. Okay.
Oh yeah, diving.
Tennis, obviously, all like I'm not going to go through every sport, but you need skill for most sports. Like natural, it also requires natural talent. And for some of these, I'm just like, flipping well done to the people for getting to the Olympics, and everyone deserves credit. Like definitely
credit, yeah.
But I'm saying most people could get there
in certain sports.
Yeah, in certain sports like shooting and stuff.
I think the sports that require less physical, the physical body is not required. I think the more skill-based sports are the ones that people more normal people can get into.
No, I get what you're saying.
I think if you took 2 years to try to become the 200 meter sprinter, I don't think that's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
But if you took 2 years purely 100% focusing on archery, I mean, Jem, our friend Jem, he told me of a story. He said his dad's friend
Yeah.
He just wanted to go. His dream was to go to the Olympics. So he picked up a shotgun or whatever it is, and made and qualified for the Olympic clay pigeon shooting. And he met Usain Bolt and all the big oaks.
That's what
And
I'm
he
saying.
went and he came last, but he went to the Olympics. And yeah, so that's a story as well. So
But that's what I'm saying. Like some of these
yeah.
things, people can just like you can just pick it up. Like not pick it up. Like you can just go do it and play. The more you practice, the better you get. And our age, you can
Yeah.
just take like a no-name sport and go
Yeah.
do exactly that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
It was just
Again,
funny
we
to,
could be young strong,
yeah, we
but
could.
I based on just, you know,
But
like for
Sam,
me, if I went and practiced darts for a
yeah,
year, I think I would become a good like
yeah,
dart thrower, whatever the right thing is.
that's
Like,
but,
yeah.
but
But anyway,
that's what I was another thing I was gonna ask. But I'll get back to that. I just want to quickly tell you, you cast your mind back to F1, the very first premiere episode when we started talking about athletes. Okay,
oh yes,
when I was watching this 10-meter air rifle shooting thing, I kid you not, the commentator said, "What an athlete!" I kid you not. That's what he said. Because the chick, she's like standing there still.
yeah.
She shoots at 10.9 and she goes, "Oh, what an athlete!" And I was just
And
like,
this is the thing. And here's the debate. Here's the debate that comes up yet again. My old nemesis, and I got a few people. We got a lot of good comments and support from that first video. And a
yeah,
lot of people enjoyed it. If I'm honest, I do think me personally, I was teetering on the edge of not suiting everybody. But again, I can't make everybody happy.
yeah,
But I do understand people that have a different look from that episode. If people see that as me being critical, I understand what. But I was just talking purely from a sportsman's viewpoint. I wasn't
yeah,
talking about the 16-year-old girl or boy that's feeling insecure about how they look. I
yeah,
was talking purely as a sportsman,
yeah,
professional sportsman.
yeah.
And that, again, I have to disagree with that. I have
Yeah,
to
it was just funny because I don't know,
because
it made me laugh.
because to me, anybody can stand up there and pull a trigger. Anybody in the world can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how good you are, that's what separates people.
Yeah.
But then people can argue, well, anyone in the world can hit a tennis ball, or anyone in the world can hit a cricket ball. But
But yeah, but it's
it's
different.
different,
And
people.
everybody
It's
knows it's
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm
And
not going to get into that. I've already said my.
yeah.
But thanks for bringing it up. Thanks for bringing
I
it
was
up.
just it's just funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just bring up the weird sports in the Olympics, and some of them I was just like, surely like I can do better. And also like, okay, do you know what curling is? It's that thing where they slide the like disc across the ice, and then everyone like sweeps and sweeps and sweeps.
Or like a
And
puck.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so all
Yeah.
that. And I was thinking, okay, obviously learning to skate is probably a big thing there. Give me a year in like Sweden or somewhere, I'll be able to do that. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. But
Yeah. I think, and I do think, and I think people mustn't be oversensitive here and be like, oh, how can you say that? Like you're taking all the skill away. Like, no, we're not.
yeah,
We're saying that there is definitely skill in all of these things. There's
yeah,
100% skill. But there are certain sports where I'm like, I could get to that level. Give me 2 to 3 years and I could be at that level.
yeah,
Again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just like right now, there are a few sports out there that just seem that way.
yeah.
Like fencing for me isn't one of those sports.
Fencing,
I feel
think is so skillful.
I think if you gave me 2 years to train in fencing, I could become very, very good, but I wouldn't become Olympic level.
Oh yeah, I know.
But there are just there are sports out there. Yeah, no. I think, but again, I think you'll become good in anything if you give yourself 2 to 3 years of just dedication towards one thing.
Yeah, I agree that.
But
yeah, I agree that you're frozen yet, mate. The joys. Yeah. Anyway, the joys of technology. But anyway, so that's enough about all of that jazz. I think we made our point. All right, everyone. So we have decided we're going to change up the eps a bit. So we're signing out for now. And this is end of part 1. And part 2 will come next week. Part 2 is a little sneaky convo about some fashion stuff, which started running on too long. We got into some things. So we decided, no, we're going to postpone it to next week. So catch part 2 out on the usual platforms next week. But for now, take care, enjoy. Thanks for all the support. Like and subscribe. Always.